Dear students, good evening and a warm welcome to CSAT Made Easy 2025 series, where we discuss the most exam specific questions and concepts from the angle of your CSAT paper of 25 year. I am Sachin Gopanal and today's topic is clocks. I think this is the second class on this topic, and as in all the classes we will concentrate on one particular concept in the topic. Okay, and as always we will begin with basic question and gradually rise up to exam level questions. So welcome once again, and we shall see the first basic question. What is it? This is our first basic question. How many times do the hour hand and the minute hand coincide in a clock between 1 p.m. and 2 p.m. on the same day, excluding 1 p.m. and 2 p.m. What are they asking us? They are asking us that between 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock in the afternoon. How do 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock look? Like this, right? This would be 1 o'clock and this would be 2 o'clock. So between 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock, do the hour hand and the minute hand coincide? And if they do, how many times do they coincide? What do they mean by coincide? Like this. If this happens, then it is said to be, then the hour hand and the minute hand are said to be coinciding, that is one upon the other. And they are asking us how many times it happens between 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock. Okay, and remember or take it as a rule, from 1 o'clock to 11 o'clock, starting from 1 o'clock to 11 o'clock, the hour hand and the minute hand coincide once every hour, coincide once between every 2 consecutive hours, that is between 1 a.m. and 2 a.m. or between 1 p.m. and 2 p.m. then between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m. then between 3 p.m. and 4 p.m. likewise up to 10 p.m. and 11 p.m. they coincide once in every gap between 2 consecutive hours. So what will the answer be? Between 1 p.m. and 2 p.m. the number of times the hour hand and the minute hand they coincide, that would be 1 time. Okay, and the key term of the rule that gave you is between 1 o'clock and 11 o'clock, because this rule does not apply from 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock. Okay, what do I mean by that? We shall understand it with the next concept. For this question, the concept is simple. From 1 o'clock to 11 o'clock, between any 2 consecutive hours, the hour hand and the minute hand coincide only once. Okay, so it means that from 1 o'clock to 11 o'clock, how many times will the hour hand and the minute hand coincide totally? That would be 10 times. 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, that way up to 10 to 11. There will be 10 times that these 2 hands will be coinciding with one another. Okay, let's look at the next question and the next level of the same concept. It looks very similar, right? How many times do the hour hand and the minute hand coincide in a clock between 11 p.m. and 12 a.m. Look here, it is 11 p.m. and 12 a.m. because 11 p.m. night 11 p.m. that is night 11 p.m. is night time, right? 11 p.m. at the night is night. It is night time, and after 1 hour it would not be 12 p.m. it would be 12 a.m. What is the time when it is midnight? It is 12 a.m. So between 11 p.m. and 12 a.m. that is 1 hour. On the same day, excluding 11 p.m. and 12 a.m., how many times do the hour hand and the minute hand coincide? The answer is not 1 time, it is 0 times. Why? Because I told you in the previous problem that between 1 o'clock and 11 o'clock, the hour hand and the minute hand they coincide between every 2 consecutive hours only once, but between 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock, that is between 2 hours actually. Earlier what was happening was between 9 and 10 it would be coinciding once, but here between 11 and 1 they will be coinciding only once. Earlier what was happening? Between 8 and 9 they would be coinciding once, and between 9 and 10 they would be coinciding once, and between 10 and 11 they would be coinciding once. However, between 11 and 1 they would be coinciding only once, and the time would exactly be 12 o'clock. At exactly 12 o'clock, the hour hand and the minute hand coincide between 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock. So, if they ask you how many times do the hour hand and the minute hand coincide in 12 hours, the answer would be 11 times. Because from 1 o'clock to 11 o'clock, they coincide 10 times, but between 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock, they coincide only one time. So, totally in 12 hours, they would be coinciding 11 times. And when they ask you between 11 p.m. and 12 a.m., how many times do they coincide? The answer is 0 times, because they are asking us to exclude 12 a.m. If this clause was not there, if excluding 12 a.m. was not there, then our answer would have been 1, because at 12 a.m. they do coincide. Okay, I think you got it. Based on this, the next question, it is very similar to this. Okay, let's go to it. How many times do the hour hand and the minute hand coincide in a clock between 12 a.m. and 1 a.m. on the same day, excluding 12 and 1? Again, the answer would be 0. Why? Because as I told you, between 11 and 1, they coincide only once. Just take it as a rule, just remember it. Between 1 o'clock and 11 o'clock, the minute hand and the hour hand, they coincide 10 times. However, between 11 and 1, they coincide only once, and the time would exactly be 12 o'clock at that time. Since they are asking us to exclude 12 o'clock, so our answer would be 0 times. Okay. Now let's go to the next question. How many times do the hour hand and the minute hand in a clock between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. on the same day, coincide on the same day, excluding 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. Now our answer would be 1 time. This is 11 in the morning and this is 1 in the afternoon. So, between 11 and 1, they coincide only once. I think now you got a very good idea of the coincidence of minute hand and the hour hand. Okay. Now, let's go to the next question. We already know the answer for this. How many times do the hour hand and the minute hand of a clock coincide in 12 hours? Since there are 12 hours in a clock, the answer would be only 11 times, because between every two consecutive hours they coincide. Our exception is 11 to 1. Here between 11 and 1 they coincide only once. So 10 plus 1, that would be 11 times. Okay, let's go to the next question now. How many times do the hour hand and the minute hand of a clock be in opposite direction in 12 hours? Again the answer is 11 times. This is simple. If they are coinciding, that is, if the angle between them is being 0 degree, 11 times in a 12 hours time, then how many times will they be in opposite direction? That would also be 11 times. So, in a clock, in 12 hours, the number of times the hour hand and the minute hand they would be coinciding with one another is 11 times, and the number of times that they would be in opposite direction to one another, that is also 11 times. Okay. Now, but there is one thing to be noted here. I told you that between 11 and 1 they will be coinciding only once. But what is the question here? They are asking, they are in opposite directions. Hour hand and the minute hand being in opposite direction, it happens between every 2 hours, 11 and 12, including 11 and 12, 12 and 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3. However, when we are talking about they being in opposite directions, it happens only once between 5 and 7. The rest of the time, that is from 7 o'clock to through 12 to 5 o'clock. From 7 o'clock to 5 o'clock, the hour hand and the minute hand, they will be in opposite directions in every one term of 1 hour. Between 7 and 8, they will be in opposite directions. Like this, it is possible. Between 8 and 9, this is possible, and between 9 and 10, This is possible. That way, between every 2 consecutive hours, they will be in opposite direction. However, the exception is between 5 and 7. Between 5 and 6, they will not be in opposite directions. Between 6 and 7, they will not be in opposite directions. However, exactly at 6 o'clock, they will be in opposite directions. So, between 5 and 7, how many times will they be in opposite directions? That would be only one. However, if they ask you between 8 and 9, that would be one time. Between 9 and 10, that would be one time. But between 5 and 7, that is also only one time, because they are not being in opposite direction between 5 and 6 or between 6 and 7, if you are excluding 6. Okay. Now, we are done with basic questions. Now, we shall go to exam level question. How many times do the hour hand and the minute hand of a clock be at right angle to each other in a day? Okay. How do we, what do we mean by right angle? Right angle, that is the angle of 90 degree, right? If the hour hand is like this and the minute hand is like this, this is right angle, right? They are asking us how many times are the hour hand and the minute hand like this in a day. Okay, this is simple. If let's take the concept of 12 hours. In 12 hours, how many times do they coincide? They coincide 11 times, right? 11 times. Okay. However, for every time they coincide, for every one time they coincide, there will be 2 times that a right angle will be formed. One is when the minute hand is behind hour hand, and one is when the minute hand is ahead of the hour hand. So, right angle can be formed both the ways, right? Right angle can be formed both the ways. One is when the hour hand is ahead of the minute hand, or when the hour hand is behind the minute hand. So, both the ways 90 degree can happen. And so, if in any given 12-hour duration, if they are coinciding 12 times, so there will be 22 times when there will be a right angle. But 22 is not our answer, because they are asking us in a day, how many hours are there in a day? In a day, we have 24 hours, right? So, if in 12 hours, there are 22 times when hour hand and the minute hand are at right angle, in 24 hours, there will be 44 times when the hour hand and the minute hand, they will be at right angle to each other. So, your answer will be 44 times. Okay. Now, let's go to another question. Look at this one. Consider the following statements. The number of times the hour hand and the minute hand of a clock coincide between 11 p.m. and 1 p.m. on the same day is an odd number. Look at statement 2. The number of times the hour hand and the minute hand of a clock will be at opposite directions between 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. on the same day is an even number. Let's evaluate them one by one. Look at the first one. The number of times the hour hand and the minute hand of a clock coincide between 11 p.m. and 1 p.m. on the same day is an odd number. We know that between 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock, how many times the minute hand and the hour hand coincide? That is only one, right? So, and they are asking us, is it an odd number? So, will we think that this is right? No, this statement is wrong. Because look at the time that they have given us. This is 11 p.m. and this is 1 p.m. What is the duration between 11 p.m. and 1 p.m.? 11 p.m. and 1 p.m. How many hours are there between them? There are actually 14 hours. Because 11 p.m. is night time 11, right? And 1 p.m. is afternoon 1. So, from 11 p.m. to 11 a.m., from night time 11 to morning time 11, how many times would the minute hand and the hour hand coincided? That would be 11 times, right? Because for 12 hours, 11 times they coincide. And then from 11 a.m. in the morning to 1 p.m. in the afternoon, how many times do they coincide? We know that between 11 and 1, coincidence happens only once. So together, between 11 in the night and 1 in the afternoon, how many times do the minute hand and the hour hand coincide? That would be 12 times, and 12 is not an odd number. So our statement 1 is wrong. Now let's look at statement 2. The number of times the hour hand and the minute hand of a clock will be at opposite directions between 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. Both are evening times. Between 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. on the same day is an even number. We know that between 5 and 7, the hour hand and the minute hand, they will be at opposite directions only once, right? Between 5 and 7, the hour hand and the minute hand, they will be at opposite directions only once. So, and 1 is not an even number. So, statement 2 is also wrong. So, what will our answer be? Our answer will be neither 1 nor 2. Okay. I think you got an idea of this concept. I will repeat it once again to just summarize. The hour hand and the minute hand, they coincide between any two given hours, 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock, 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock. Any two given hours, they always coincide with one another, and also they will be at opposite directions with one another. Between 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock, between 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock, they will be coinciding once, and they will be in opposite directions, that also once. However, the exception occurs between 11 and 1 and between 5 and 7. Between 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock, they coincide only once. They will be in opposite direction 2 times. Between 11 and 1, there is no problem of they being in opposite directions. There is no problem there. However, there is a problem with coinciding. Between 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock, they coincide only once. And between 5 o'clock and 7 o'clock, they will be in opposite direction only once. These are the two exceptions. So, in any given 12 hours, how many times will the hour hand and the minute hand be coinciding? 11 times. And in any given 12 hours, how many times will the hour hand and the minute hand be in opposite direction? That is also 11 hours, like 11 times. I think I said 12, right? It is 11 both the times. In any 12 hours, how many times will the hour hand and the minute hand coinciding? 11 times. And in any given 12 hours, how many times will the hour hand and the minute hand be in opposite direction? That is also 11 times. Okay. Now we shall go to your homework question. Okay. Now before going to homework question, we shall address this YouTube comment. In our previous class on clocks, we had talked about angle between the hour hand and the minute hand, and for that class we had received one comment on YouTube link. They are asking, we had talked about angle between hour hand and minute hand when the time is any given time, and this comment asks, what about 12:30 hours? That is when the time is 12:30. What is the angle between hour hand and minute hand? Okay. How will the clock look? The clock will look like this, right? Okay. This is what 12:30 looks like. And what is the angle between hour hand and the minute hand when the time is 12:30? And we had discussed in the previous class, for any given time, we will multiply the hour number with 30 and minute number with 11/2, and the products will take the difference of them. What is 12 into 30? That would be 360. What is 30 into 11/2? That would be 165. So we will take the difference of 360 and 165. 360 and 165, and the angle is 195 degree. However, I had also told you in the previous class that whenever the angle that you obtain is more than 180 degree, we need to subtract 360 from that angle. If this angle was 180 or less than 180, we would keep it as it is. However, since this number is more than 180, what we will do? We will subtract 360 from this number, and what do we get? Just back, we will get 165. So this angle would be 165 degree. Okay, what about 195 degree? Why did we get it? That would be this angle. This would be 195 degree. Okay. Now let's go to your homework question. This question, it was asked in the CSAT paper of 24 year. Let's read the question. How many times the hour hand and the minute hand coincide in a clock between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. same day? I think you can answer this with the knowledge that you have gained from the class. Answer this question and leave your answers in the comment section. We will discuss the answer in the next class. And now it's time to discuss the answer of the previous classes homework question. This was the previous classes homework question. This was based on the concept of average. Let's read the question. Consider the following. Weight of 6 boys is equal to weight of 7 girls, which is equal to weight of 3 men, which is equal to weight of 4 women. If the average weight of the women is 63 kg, then what is the average weight of the boys? And I had also given you a clue. The clue was ignore the information about girls and men. So we will take into account only the information about boys and women. 6 boys and 4 women. Okay. And what is the formula that we use? The formula is very simple. That would be average is equal to sum or total divided by count. Let's apply this formula in the case of women. In the case of women, what is the average weight? That is 63 kg, right? 63 is equal to, what is the sum of the weight of those 4 women? We do not know. We will keep it as total. And what is the count? How many women are there? There are 4 women. So what will the value of total be? That would be 63 into 4. What is 63 into 4? That would be 252 kg. So the total weight of 4 women is 252 kg. Okay. Now they are asking us, then what is the average weight of boys? How many boys are there? 6 boys are there. What is the formula that we will use? It is still the same formula. Average is equal to total divided by count. What is the total here? They have told us that the weight of 6 boys, it is equal to the weight of 4 women. So the total remains same, right? That would be 252 kg. And how many boys are there? There are 6 boys. Okay. We need to divide 252 by 6. 6 4s are 24 and 6 2s are 12. So the answer would be 42 kg. Option B. I think this class was helpful to you. If you like our classes, do watch us regularly. We upload 1 episode every evening, and do subscribe to our channel and also join our regular batch. Once again, I wish you all the best, and most of all, I wish you a very happy studying. Thank you.